Hey, did you know that a Scorpio can spot a lie before you even finish your sentence? With an intuition so sharp, it's like they've got a built-in truth detector wired straight to their soul. That's the kind of raw, unfiltered power we're diving into today, unveiling the deepest, darkest, and most magnetic secrets of Scorpio, the Zodiac's most intense sign. Buckle up, because this isn't just horoscope fluff. It's a journey into the heart of a sign that can love you to the ends of the earth or cut you down with a single glance. Let's peel back the curtain a bit more. Ever wonder what happens when you cross a Scorpio? It's not just drama. It's a seismic event. Picture this. A Scorpio woman, eyes blazing, doesn't just walk away from betrayal. She rebuilds her entire world from the ashes, leaving behind anything or anyone that threatens her peace. I've seen it firsthand. A close friend of mine, born under this sign, discovered a partner's infidelity and didn't just end things. She packed up, moved across state lines, and started a whole new chapter, not out of spite, but because her inner balance demanded it. That's Scorpio's hidden strength. They'll start over without hesitation if it means protecting their soul. And it's not just about cutting ties. It's their unforgiving nature, rooted in a need for absolute loyalty. Once trust is broken, it's like trying to glue together shattered glass. Possible, but never quite the same. Research even backs this up. Studies on personality traits linked to zodiac signs often point to Scorpios as having the highest emotional memory, meaning they don't just remember betrayals. They feel them years later, as if it happened yesterday. So, what drives this intensity? Is it just emotion, or is there a calculated mind behind those piercing eyes? Let's dig deeper into the layers of Scorpio's psyche, because there's more to them than meets the eye. And trust me, you'll want to know what's simmering beneath the surface. Now let's set the stage with the core of who Scorpios are. As a water sign, alongside Cancer and Pisces, they're ruled by emotion. Think of a deep, still lake that hides powerful currents underneath. Their sensitivity isn't weakness, it's their superpower. They feel everything tenfold, whether it's love, pain, or anger, which is why they crave connections that are real, raw, and unshakable. I've watched Scorpios in my circle light up a room just by being there for someone, sensing unspoken pain and offering a quiet, steady presence that says, "I've got you." But flip that coin, and their emotional depth means betrayal hits them like a tidal wave. They don't just get hurt, they retreat, building walls so high you'd need a ladder to even peek over. This ties into their intuition. Scorpios read people like open books. A study from a psychological journal on intuitive decision-making found that people with traits aligned to Scorpio's profile often score higher on tests for emotional intelligence, picking up on micro-expressions and tone shifts others miss. That's why they seem to know when you're hiding something. It's not magic. It's just their mind working overtime. And speaking of minds, don't underestimate their intellect. In love, they're not just passionate, they're strategic. I recall a Scorpio man I've known for years who approached romance like a chess game. When his relationship hit a rough patch, he didn't react impulsively. He planned, observed his partner's needs, and crafted ways to rebuild trust, move by calculated move. That blend of heart and head makes their bonds intense but enduring. Then there's their sensuality. Scorpios are often called the most magnetic sign for a reason. Their charisma isn't loud. It's in the way they lock eyes with you, making you feel like the only person in the world. Their social calendars are packed, not because they're shallow, but because people are drawn to their mystery. Yet they're picky. Only the worthy get past the velvet rope to their inner circle. And for Scorpio women, intimacy is non-negotiable. It's not just physical. It's a soul connection. I've heard stories from women under this sign who've walked away from partners not because of petty issues, but because the passion didn't match their depth. They need someone who can keep up with their fire. So with all this intensity, how do Scorpios navigate the messy world of relationships? Especially when not everyone can handle their heat. Let's explore a twist that might surprise you. Here's a curveball to chew on. What happens when Scorpios' all or nothing vibe clashes with signs who just don't get it? Take Gemini or Aquarius. Pairing with Scorpio can feel like mixing oil and water. Gemini's playful, scattershot energy, always chasing the next shiny thing, can make a Scorpio feel like they're grasping at air, craving depth that just isn't there. I've seen this play out at a dinner party once, where a Scorpio friend sat stone-faced while a Gemini acquaintance flitted from topic to topic, dodging any real emotional dive. By the end of the night, my Scorpio pal whispered to me, "I can't do surface level. It's exhausting." Aquarius, on the other hand, with their cool, detached idealism, can leave Scorpio feeling like their fiery devotion is too much, too clingy. I remember a story from someone in my astrology circle about a Scorpio-Aquarius couple who couldn't align, while he preferred debating big ideas over getting personal. Studies on astrological compatibility often highlight these mismatches. Scorpio's need for loyalty and intimacy scores high on emotional dependency scales, while Gemini and Aquarius rank higher on independence metrics. It's not impossible to make it work, but it takes compromise and the willingness to bridge vastly different worlds. Scorpio's intensity demands a partner who can dive deep, not just skim the surface. So knowing this, what's the real cost of loving a Scorpio? Or worse, breaking their trust? Let's push into the heart of their storm. Brace yourself, because we're hitting the peak of Scorpio's power and their pain. Let's start with their transformative strength. Scorpios don't just adapt, they reinvent. When life throws chaos their way, they don't cling to the wreckage. They torch it and build anew. I've witnessed this in a Scorpio woman who, after a toxic relationship drained her, didn't wallow. She channeled that hurt into starting her own business, turning her pain into purpose, embodying the influence of Pluto, their ruling planet of transformation. That's their magic. They're alchemists of their own lives, turning lead into gold. And their passion, it's a wildfire. Scorpio men, especially, bring an adventurous edge to love, always seeking new ways to keep the spark alive. I've known one who planned surprise getaways just to keep his partner on her toes, not out of restlessness, but because stagnation is his enemy. Intimacy for them isn't routine, it's exploration, a way to deepen the bond. Scorpio women match this with their directness and loyalty. If they're into you, you'll know it. There's no guessing games. Their interest is clear as day, but they demand intelligence and compatibility in return. I've seen a Scorpio woman turn down charming suitors because they couldn't match her wit or emotional depth. She'd rather be alone than settle. Their sensuality ties into this. It's not just physical allure. It's an energy that captivates. Picture a Scorpio at a party. Not the loudest, but the one everyone gravitates toward. Drawn by a quiet intensity that screams mystery. But here's the flip side. Cross them and you'll feel the sting. Their anger isn't a tantrum, it's a scalpel. I've heard of a Scorpio who, after being provoked one too many times by a friend's snide remarks, unleashed a comeback so precise it silenced the room, pointing out flaws with surgical accuracy. They don't blow up, they dissect, using their sharp wit to wound, because they know exactly where it hurts. And betrayal? Forget forgiveness. If they catch you flirting or cheating, it's game over. I've known someone who lost a Scorpio's trust through a careless flirtation at a bar. Even after apologies and years passing, the Scorpio kept them at arm's length, the wound still fresh. Their fear of betrayal isn't paranoia, it's survival. Emotional studies suggest water signs like Scorpio process relational trauma more intensely, with neural pathways tied to trust showing heightened activity even long after the event. So, loving a Scorpio means walking a tightrope. The highs are euphoric. The lows can be devastating. They're not just a sign, they're a force of nature, shaped by Mars' warrior energy and Pluto's dark rebirth. To know them is to respect their boundaries, because once you're in their inner circle, their loyalty is ironclad. They'll fight for you, transform with you, make you feel seen like no one else can. But break that trust and you're out. No second chances. So, with all this intensity, is there a lighter side to Scorpio? A moment where their sting turns sweet? Let's find out. Now, let's ease up for a second and share a little warmth amid all this fire. Picture this. A Scorpio, known for their brooding intensity, sits across from a loved one who's had a rough day. You'd expect them to dive straight into problem-solving mode, right? But instead, they pull out a quirky, hand-drawn card, something silly they made just to coax a smile. I've seen this happen with someone close to me, under Scorpio's stars, who, after a heated argument where their words cut deep, turned around the next day with the smallest, sweetest gesture. A playlist of songs tied to old memories handed over with a sheepish grin. It wasn't an apology. It was a bridge, a way to say, I'm still here, even after the storm. That's the surprise of Scorpio. Their ability to bring joy when you least expect it. They've got this knack for sensing what you need, even when you don't say it. I remember a gathering where a Scorpio friend noticed someone feeling left out. Without fanfare, they shifted the whole vibe, drawing that person into the convo with stories and laughter, making them feel like the star of the night. It's not just random kindness, it's their emotional radar at work, picking up on vibes others miss. And yeah, they've got a sting. Lord knows I've been on the receiving end of a Scorpio's sharp tongue when I've messed up. But that same intensity flips into fierce protection or unexpected humor when they care. Once, after a tense moment, a Scorpio pal cracked a dark, witty jab about their own temper, turning the whole room into giggles and breaking the ice. Their passion isn't just for drama, it's for making their people smile, even if it's in their own mysterious way. It's like they carry a storm and a sunrise in the same heart. One minute they're thunder, the next they're painting your world brighter. That duality, that push and pull, is what makes them unforgettable. You don't just know a Scorpio, you feel them long after they've left the room. So, let's wrap this up with the essence of Scorpio. They're a paradox of power and vulnerability, a sign that loves with every fiber of their being, but guards their heart like a fortress. Their intuition cuts through lies, their passion ignites worlds, and their loyalty, once earned, is a treasure worth fighting for. But cross them, and you'll learn why their sting is legendary. Understanding a Scorpio isn't just about reading their stars. It's about respecting their depth, matching their fire, and never underestimating the strength it takes to rebuild after a fall. If you're as captivated by their mysteries as I am, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Your support keeps me diving into these cosmic stories. And hey, drop a comment below. Do you know a Scorpio who's left you in awe with their intensity, or maybe their unexpected sweetness? I'm dying to hear your tales.